We've been saying it all along, haven't we? Brisbane, can they keep giving up these early leads and can they come back? We know they love the second half surge. Well, we found out the answer. Collingwood, they knew about it too. And one of the most regimented systems in the AFL ended up getting the chocolates at the Gabba Thursday night under the bright lights. And the Pies didn't just survive the second half comeback, they literally crushed it. 52 point smashing, a very good tactical dismantling by Fly, and a reminder that the black and white army are too old. They might be too slow, but also they're too bloody good. And September beckons again for the Magpie Army. Let's deep dive. Full breakdown of the game, tactical insight. What went right, what went wrong for both sides, and why the Pies are very much back in town. But did they ever leave? Let's run that intro. At what looked like a packed Gabba, the reigning premiers were supposed to flex, and instead it was Collingwood, the previous year's winners, that flexed their muscles and blunted the Lions' attack, ending up 105, defeating 53. And this was no fluke. This was literally a controlled performance by the Pies. They led by 10 at quarter time. They extended that lead back to 19. Then they blew it open with a 29-point third quarter. And then they cruised to a massive 52-point win as Brisbane desperately tried to get into the game and the structures fell apart as they went more attacking. And it was a real well-rounded team performance, as we always talk about with the Magpies. Nick Daicos, again, 38 touches, 8 clearances, a staggering 645 metres gained and 12 in score involvements. Simply unstoppable when he's in this kind of pomp and circumstance. Dan McStay, against his old mob, he had 3 goals. They were very good goals too. Josh Daicos, Nick's brother, 30 touches, 599 metres gained. Class all night. Sidebottom and Pendlebury, just timeless, honestly. It is like listening to the Carpenters at this point. Still holds up in today's age. And Jamie Elliott, on his 200th game, snagging typical Jamie Elliott goals, as we would expect, right when you want it. And Collingwood just forced Brisbane wide, and at times they were slow and reactive, a complete reversal of what we expect to see from the Lions. Collingwood bullied them around stoppage, plus 26 points from that stalls, and pressured them into mistakes and forced their ball movement to kind of sputter out and look out wide, as opposed to be that controlled chaos that we see. Let's look at the tactical insight from this game. This wasn't just hunger. This is, again, another Fly masterclass. He crushed Brisbane's weapons before they even had a chance to fire. One of them things was the kick-to-handball ratio, 1.44, direct, fast, very territory-focused, and no overusing. Just very, very good move. Keep the ball in motion. 5,553 metres gained from 333 disposals. That's 16.7 metres per disposal. Just showing that they go short, sharp, move. This hurts Brisbane as well, because these were meaningful meters, not fluff ball use. When you look at Brisbane, they were 2 kicks to a handball. They had to really go to a kick mark game style, which was really, really slow and arduous from them. Only gaining 15.2 metres per disposal, which is very, very un-Brisbane-like. The stoppage dominance continued as well, 36-26 in clearances, 15-9 centre clearances, 42 points to 16 points from stoppage clearance in Collingwood's favour, and 10 points to 3 points in the centre clearances. They ended up having 51 entries for 27 shots, which is a shot every 53%. Now, Brisbane were better than that, but these were from high percentile ranges, so they had more looks at goal in hot zones, which basically means that both sides really had a look every second inside 50 in there, which is real high value. Just shows the speed in which you get there means that you have less zones to get through. Nick Daicos was a midfield architect, 38 disposals, 8 clearances, 12 score involvements. In his first half alone, he had 21 touches. He was off the chain. Dan McStay was a constant lead-up presence, forced Harris Andrews to have to go to defend 1-on-1, which allowed Majacek to have a lot of space out in front. 6 of his 8 touches were inside 50 for 3 goals in that, so really high value. Majacek, as usual, was the link man here. Mostly contested and mostly high pressure were his possessions. He was a key to transition, particularly when he worked up the ground. And Scott Pendlebury and Steele Sidebottom combining for 47, controlled the tempo, real metronome, particularly towards the end of the game, which iced Brisbane's ability to create chances and get meaningful score launches. Meanwhile, the Pies back six completely shut down at that corridor movement. It was completely enclosed. The wings pushed in and forced Brisbane to go out wide, forced Brisbane to do lateral kicks, and metres gained for them, as we said, wasn't as high. It was in the 15s, where we expect Brisbane to have that real big transitional launch. When you look at Brisbane as well, 21 shots from 37 inside 50s is pretty impressive. 56.8% of them are inside. But again, 15.6 disposals versus 12 for shots a goal really tell the tale that it was a lot easier for the Collingwood to create better scoring chances. And when you look at the scores from the expected from where the scores were, again, Collingwood won this only by 20. They literally had easier shots a goal and created easier chances. So let's look what went right. For Collingwood, controlled stoppages early. They're allowed to dictate field position, and that is really important for them. That is a really understated part of McRae's game plan recently. That has become a lot more poignant. They forced Brisbane wide. They shut off the corridor, particularly in jung time, which is where Brisbane somehow managed to find a way. Nick Daicos' brilliance brought the game open early, and the team's defensive shape, they swarmed and smothered Lions at every opportunity, particularly inside their own defensive 50. And efficiency, high shots, do you know what I mean? They managed to get that, multiple scoring options, many ways to skin a cat. For Brisbane, they just couldn't get that quick corridor movement. It was very predictable and it was very wide ball use. And the lack of tackle pressure from their mids as well, the mid tackle pressure was really down. It was the kind of tackle pressure that we would expect to see from Brisbane. Only the 28 tackles where they've averaged a lot more than that this year. Even Collingwood were down with it. It was a very free-flowing game, but there was opportunities here to really put pressure on, and I felt like the midfield really did open up a little bit. And the effective tag on Nick Daicos, he was deployed late, but by that time the damage was done. Charlie Cameron just couldn't get any space, and he did make some wonderful dummy leads, and he wasn't hit out. And this was probably the first time we've seen that key forward structure break down. McInerney and Hipwood had moments early doors, but no system was in front of them, which allowed it to be very easy in the end for Frampton and Moore to really peel off and do a bit of damage. Brisbane's midfield intensity was way down in this game. Their plan in B just couldn't get going, and that is a shame, but I'm not walking off the Lions. I still think they'll be there or thereabouts. This was really more of an outlier type game for them in the terms of their efficiency. 5 talking points. Nick Daicos is definitely in Brownlow form. I know he's not been told about enough, but he was easily the best player on the ground here. The old guard outdone. Sidebottom and Pendlebury, class, critical, crucial. Brisbane, they really will have to ask questions here. That we've seen this throughout games this year, where they slightly are off the ball when teams start to get there. We know how to beat Collingwood. You've got to get a early, put some score on them, not allow them to control the tempo. With Brisbane here, this was probably the first time we haven't seen them rise, and the lead was too big at the end for Collingwood just to control it, and they had beautiful passages. This is probably more of just an off night for the Lions. I'm not jumping off them yet, but it is definitely something that they need to look for, being able to control the game a little bit when it's getting away from them. And Collingwood, for me, are the most structured team in the AFL right now. Pressure, ball movement on and off the ball, inside 50 and D50 setup. It is elite. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this game. Can Collingwood go all the way in 2024? Is Nick Daicos a Brownlow chance? Do you think Brisbane are flat track bullies, or are you jumping off them? Let me know, because for me, I still think Brisbane are very beautifully paced, and I think that this is going to be a lesson, and Fagan will fix this sooner rather than later. Smash that like button, subscribe for more footy breakdown. Come and join me tonight on the Carlton North game. Can't wait for that. Join in the conversation. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, turn that naughty on, and we'll see you next time. But just remember, no miraculous comeback this time, no Gabba magic, just a black and white blitzkrieg. Collingwood are rolling, and Brisbane, they have some work to do. This has been Quick Kicks. I'm Pommy. Catch you legends next time.